everyone. Thank you for coming today. It's wonderful to see all of you here. I hope the audio is good enough. If you have any issues, please let me know by chat. So today is especially a Buddha's birthday Dharma talk, or actually the initial idea from Zen Master Hyang was Buddha's unbirthday Dharma talk. So if things were normal, this weekend would be Sangha weekend in Providence Zen Center, and I think also in Europe. It's really a miss that we can't have this Sangha weekend that we traditionally have had for so many years, even since Zen Master Sung San. And in a way, this is a very, very unique and amazing moment in the world that we're facing coronavirus, COVID-19, everywhere in the world. So while it's a huge suffering and difficulty everywhere, I think for us as Zen students, it's a great opportunity for our practice. So I'd like to start first with, I'll hit the bell just to start our event today. And then I will introduce the three speakers one by one as they'll give a talk. So welcome everybody. Be comfortable and let's just get on the ride. Welcome to the Buddha's birthday online Dharma talk. Today's April 5th here in Korea, 9 p.m. And I guess the same day for wherever you are. Today, the Dharma talks will be given by three Zen masters who are head Zen masters for Asia, Europe, and Zen Master Soeng. She's the school Zen master. So first, I'd like to introduce Zen Master Shim. She's the head Zen Master of Europe and currently residing in Warsaw Zen Center. And she travels all around the world, teaching tirelessly and leading Kelches. So Zen Master Shim, please give us your Dharma talk. Thank you.
Welcome and thank you all for joining in. This is for us all, it's a new experience, right? So, and in a way, it's quite unusual to meet this way, but on the other side, we meet so many people from around the globe, like never before. But still, it's not exactly the way that we are used to, and we want to celebrate this great occasion, Buddha's birthday. But it's the best we can do at this unfortunate and stressful time. And I want to use this opportunity, and I want to thank so many of you that is taking care of online activities like streaming practice, arranging Kongan interviews and Dharma talks, etc. And because of that, we stay connected and we can continue and practice together. And this is really wonderful, and it's more important than ever. We are all aware of that, I'm sure, with the times being so uncertain. But still, just yesterday, I think I heard some people feel like being on a holiday because they don't have to go to the office and they can stay in home, etc. But like Shakyamuni Buddha has said, this house, this world is on fire. And it always has been, even before the virus outbreak. In this sense, nothing has changed. The only difference is that now we became more aware of it. So when the outbreak began, many students were asking, what is this? What kind of sci-fi movie is this? It felt like that for a while, but now the science fiction is becoming a reality. And we all have some roles to play in this movie. We've been all given the same script. And we understand its plot. It moves us deeply and it hits us strongly. But from the bottom of our hearts, we've had enough. And we want to walk away from this movie set. And there are no likes, no Instagram little hearts, no Facebook thumbs down. We all agree, and maybe this is really, it doesn't happen too often. We all agree, no doubt about that. We attain one mind. And everyone of us is asking the same question, and became like a big question. When will this movie end? So let us look at this for a moment. From time to time in our lives, we have wake up calls, some kind of reminder that we need to look and take care of our issues. And maybe we don't want to see some of our hindrances, passions, tendencies, or that they seem too painful or overwhelming, and at the time of acknowledge. But if we neglect them for too long, they hit us even harder. So I see a similarity between those and what is happening in this world right now. There already have been many warning signs from the nature itself, floods and wildfires. And although there are many discussions and debates about climate change, unfortunately, not much is being done. The way we interact with nature, how we exploit it, how we exploit animals, it is all connected. There is no time now and no place to explore and go more into that. But my point is that the same brute force that is destroying our lives can also be transformed into rebuild it. They are fundamentally no different from one another. So the re-erecting force has its roots in compassion and love for this planet. Nevertheless, somehow in many cases, this tragic situation in the world brought out all the good in humans and encouraged so many people around the globe to do the best they can to help sick, elderly, and their communities. And there are so many amazing stories about that. And I also have one story about my friend and longtime practitioner from the Czech Republic. And she has a company that is sewing parts of equipment for the army, like backpacks, etc. And as soon as the outbreak began, they have rapidly changed the whole production line and started sewing face masks and distributed to first to medical staff, public service, public service workers like bus drivers, shop sellers, and eventually to anyone in need. And now many people in the country follow their example. And this country has a low infection and mortality rate. So just to ending this talk, I'm going to say our practice is our strength. So please, every day, return to your center. Stay in don't know. And from this don't know, you will know how to, moment to moment, you will know exactly what to do. And it will help you. It always does. So thank you. Thank you for listening. And I hope you have nice time during this quite unusual event, quite unusual Buddha birthday. Thank you.
Thank you, Zen Master Bong Shim, for your lovely speech. Yeah, returning to our practice, I think, is most important right now. So next Dharma talk will be Zen Master Bong. So Bong Sanim.
Yes, do you unmute me?
I unmuted you. Welcome. So Bong Sanim is
Thank you.
head Zen Master of Asia for Quantum School of Zen.
Alex Dixter Suhaj?
He's also the guiding teacher of Musangsa right now in Korea, and my boss. Thank you, Sanim, for giving your time today.
Sure. Hello, everybody. This is very unusual for me to be talking to a computer screen, although I take on trust that there's a lot of warm human beings out there. I think I'll have to get used to this. Of course, it's Buddha's birthday for our weekend in the West. In Korea, of course, in Asia, Buddha's birthday follows the lunar calendar. This year, it's April 30th. But in Korea, because of this virus infection, all the Buddhist temples have changed it to May 30th. It just happens that there's 2 lunar months, April month. And so May 30th is also April 8th on the lunar calendar, the second one. But anyway, happy Buddha's birthday to you. It's a very good timing, actually, that it's Buddha's birthday for all of us to remember why we started practicing. Obviously, thing to say now is that a good situation is a bad situation, and a bad situation is a good situation. And I think if we're practicing sincerely, we'll definitely experience it that way. Of course, it's bad, our current world situation, in that many people are sick, many people are dying, family members, or what if you yourself was in that tent and having to try to get enough air, and I certainly consider that. So nature's teaching us something. In a way, it's a great benefit, because most of the problems that we run into during our lives as individuals and as a society are human created. And this was not human created, it was made worse by our human behavior, but also in many cases, there's many people working very hard and sacrificing themselves to help those who are suffering from this natural phenomenon. But I think that it's a great opportunity for all of us as individuals, and of course for society, to remember what is really important in human life and what is fundamental. And I think that it would be wise for all of us, as many individuals as possible, to take it seriously and learn the lessons that we can learn from this. Because in my personal experience, when nature or this world gives me a lesson, if I choose to not learn from it, not too long later, I get a stronger message, a stronger lesson. And I suspect this will happen to all of us as a society for sure. As individuals, it depends how well we use this. So I want to read something from the Tao Te Ching, which is one of the kongans in our Whole World's a Single Flower. And I'm not reading this as a kongan to you, but just to remind you of something. It's number 252. That's probably backwards on your screen. And it's called Where is Serenity? Empty your mind of all thoughts. Let your heart be at peace. Watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the source. Returning to the source is serenity. What's the fundamental thing that you want in your life that we all want? Probably happiness. And everyone goes about it in different ways. And I think if we're practicing, we're quite aware that we often choose ways that are not very skillful and focus on things that may be important in life, but are not fundamental to true happiness. And I think that this current situation is giving all of us, we know this, a great opportunity to really look deeply at that in our personal lives and as a society. I don't know whether society will really make some healthy changes from this, but society really is just a bunch of individuals. So it's really important that we look at the effect of this situation on each of us. Many people just are going straight ahead and working to help others. Many people are just stuck at home and trying to deal with their situation. But I think as you practice, be aware of your feelings, of what feelings are appearing. Maybe it's frustration that you have to follow some guidelines you don't like. Maybe it hinders your plans. Maybe there's anger that somebody else isn't doing what I think they ought to do. Maybe it's fear. I think that fundamental to so much of what we do is our feelings. And if we aren't aware of them and aren't able to allow them to be and really investigate them and digest them, and fundamentally to digest them, then they control our thinking and our behavior. And our practice is how become one with our experience and digest it. If we digest it, it just becomes a fresh energy that we can then use to help others, because that's the fundamental thing of being human. Dalai Lama said, our purpose in life is to help others. If you can't help others, at least don't harm them. It's very simple. But everybody knows this, but you have to look at how you do it in your own personal life. Don't just focus on what other people are doing or what society is or isn't doing. What am I feeling, and how do I behave in my life? And if we digest our feelings, then you're already more complete. You can find serenity without even being concerned about what it feels like. Maybe the best word is clear. You're clear. Then you're free to just help. Whatever the situation is, you're stuck at home, your parents are alone, you're old and confused, you have a job, you have a business, it doesn't matter. But I think that this is such a great opportunity to make our practice live. In my personal life, it's really when I have run into some big wall in my life or some great suffering that I've found what is the true way, what is practice, how to handle it inside. And that always produces wiser behavior outside. That's my experience. Zen Master Seung Sahn already warned us that during this century, in fact, one time I heard him say, all society will fall apart. Then somebody asked him, well, when that happens, where can we hide? And he said, hide under the path. So this is an opportunity for us to discover inside, what is the path? Then we can function according to outside situation without hindrance. So I hope that Buddha did that. He being born for him ultimately became like the coronavirus. Life was the coronavirus. So he couldn't avoid the fundamental. So this is just, it's a great, for the first time in my life, I have a good feeling towards viruses. Yeah, it may kill me, but, and it won't be pleasant, but it's the opportunity to find the path inside. It's the only thing that will take care of our life. All the social stuff, it's liberation. And that's what this is about. Then even a little taste of that, we're more free to help everyone, whatever our situation is. So on this Buddha's birthday, I hope all of us learn how to experience our karma clearly, digest it, and then the path will just unfold in front of us, the ways to help someone. Whatever that is, it grows right out of the situation. So this is actually, this disease is a great Buddha's birthday present to everybody. And as Zen students, it really is essential that we take advantage of the opportunity nature's given us to strengthen our practice, to become clear. And then our way is always open, even if it's when it's time to die. So happy Buddha's birthday.
Thank you, Zen Master De Bong. Thank you for your Dharma talk.
Thank you, everybody. Let's meet in the flesh sometime.
Yes, I hope we can meet in the flesh soon, everyone.
Maybe this is the flesh. I'm going to mute me.
Yes, thank you. Next is Zen Master Hyang. She will give the third Dharma speech. Just one second. Unmute. Hello, Bobby.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Zen Master Hyang. Everybody knows you are our school Zen Master.
Yes, hi. It was very nice to hear those two talks. And I was thinking before this happened this morning that like it's kind of hard to follow those two people because they give very good talks, and I love them a lot. And there's very little to say about our teaching in many ways. And I think this whole concept of digesting, as De Bong's name said, this sense of it all comes to us if we don't know, if we just don't know, and just allow the wisdom and the compassion to float up and appear. And this idea of, we hear sometimes of infinite time, infinite space is very important, because even as a child, I was always wondering what was before I was born and what was after I die. And this is sense of, when I learned about Buddhism, that we have this I before I was born, before I die. But actually that whole thing, the life, the death, the flowing of all things is always going on, always going on. And if there's infinite time, infinite space, there's been, times when we feel healthy and complete and that society might be going well, but there's other things in the universe that might not be going so well. They're getting the bad situation and we're getting the good situation, but that's never in one place at one time. It's constantly moving all the time. So that gives me comfort in some ways, because it's the delusion that we're in this capsule, this earth capsule, and our atmosphere isn't healthy and the trees are dying and the rivers are polluted, and we will start to feel like we're stuck in that capsule. But again, if we do the don't know, if we just rest and allow us to become our complete self, not the little I, but our complete self, we can feel that flow, and we can feel the health and the transformations that are going on constantly. And it's actually probably a tremendously gracious and healthy thing that we're experiencing right now. I know for many of us, where there's a lot more phone calls, a lot more Zooms and Skypes and texting and messaging, and I find myself connecting with people that I think of. I'll think of someone, and I thank God for our technology, because I'll just find their contact and reach out to them. And I know, I sent out a request for Paul Mychek, because he has the virus, and he just got flooded with well wishes, and he said nothing could have helped his immune system better than the love that he was getting from the quantum school, and it was very, very, very nice. And I want people to know he's doing much better. His fevers are much lower now. He still has fevers, but they're much lower. So we just don't know, do we? We don't know who's going to drop next or whatever's going to happen. And I was going to bed last night, and Mary saw something on her phone that said that a nursing home that's only 5 miles away from us is full of 22 of the people in the nursing home are sick with the virus right now. And that was just last night. Probably this morning, who knows what's going on this morning. So how do we practice with that? That was the last news I heard last night about the nursing home. And I know there's hundreds and thousands of nursing homes that are going through the same thing, let alone the acute hospital facilities. But I was just lying there, and I was just, every time I would raise up from sleep, that would appear to me that what's going on with, as Dave Bong said, some people are very busy right now with this, and some of us are at home gardening, and it's like, my heart just goes out to the people that are so busy right now, and that also the people that are so sick. And all I could do, and this is everything that I could do, was Kwanse Bosal. I would just gently, rather than, I would be thinking about the suffering, and then I Kwanse Bosal, just breathe out the Kwanse Bosal. It's not the sound of Kwanse Bosal. It's your practice. It's your path. It's the Kwanse Bosal that you. And as Ola said, when you're doing don't know, then you know then you know. Then you know. So it's the love that you're sending out, and then wisdom appears with, I could maybe do this, I could maybe do that. I was gardening yesterday, and it was a light, gentle rain for a change in California, but it was raining, and I was out there anyway, and just putzing around. And there was a couple of things I had to agitate, move around, and I came up with this little slug appeared on my shovel, and it wasn't like a great slug. It was teeny. It was like very small, about the size of a pea, and I just kind of went like, I disturbed it. It was there, not bothering anybody, and I just disturbed it, and I felt more sensitized to that than I often do. I don't kill them, or I usually just move them over and hope they don't eat my plants. But I realized I was in its home. I was in that slug's home, and I was agitating it. And so human beings are big agitators. And can we do the Kwanse Bosal? Can we relax? Can we feel how we move and where we move forward? And how we affect other things. And that's what our practice is to be aware and to sensitize it to what our full potential is. What are we going to do with our time and our garden or anything else? Who needs it? Who needs the food? And I don't know. That's just, I guess, what I just feel increased sensitivity this time, and I'm sure most of you, all of you do. Yes, Zen Master Bong sent out a beautiful writing about maybe 4 or 5 days ago. It was a long, kind of like a poem. It was very short and linear. The sentences were short, and it was just really a very nice thing for me to read. And what really struck me is something that it said was that everybody is so busy working on their scaffolding, the scaffolding of what I need, what I want, where I'm going to go next, who I love, who I don't love. And they're just constantly working on their scaffolding of their little human life. And the foundation is crumbling. The scaffolding is going to do us no good if we have no foundation. And so the earth is ill, people are ill, and forget about the scaffolding. How can I help? Truly, get off the scaffolding and see what our job is, see what we can do. We're so blessed, really, to have this path. And I was talking to someone from India the other day who was writing a dissertation, and he was just saying that he had just heard a little bit about the quantum school, and he had realized he hadn't really interviewed too many teachers from there. So he had asked me, and I was just telling him, I said, well, you've talked to people from many schools. And I said, our school is this, our main thing is what is this? What am I? So I just want you to know that that's what we teach is what is this? What am I? And then don't know and listen. Don't know and listen. And it's as simple as that, because he wanted to kind of, for me to condense what was unique about our school. I don't know if it's unique, but it's what's kept me here all these years. It's just, what is this? Listen. So I don't know if I have much more to say. I'm just really glad to be with you guys. I'm kind of lonely. I haven't been out, and that lack of human contact is, as I said, is just getting me totally into my garden. And I want to say one thing. I got a headache the other day, and I never get headaches. This was a good week ago, and I went, oh no, here it comes. Because I had been a lot out and about before, a week earlier or something, and it was like, oh no, here it comes. And I just I did our practice, I took a deep breath, did don't know, and I just immediately sat on the ground and laid down. I just laid on the grass, and because I just wanted to feel, I had the fear thing come up, and then I just wanted to breathe it out and go into don't know and be here now. And I turned my head and looked at this bush I had just trimmed. I'd cut down a bunch of dead branches off of it, and the pile of branches was sitting right near my face. And I went, oh, that's all it is. We're just trimming things. This isn't dead. This is compost. This is a beautiful thing right here that I removed from the bush. And it comforted me so much just to think that I was just like those dead branches, this is a valuable thing to transition, no matter how and when we're going to transition. But before the transition, we have a job. We have that job to breathe in and then don't know and just what. So thank you so much for being part of this in this Sangha and being my brothers and sisters. I appreciate it so much. So thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm going to unmute all 3 teachers. I'm trying to unmute and it's not working very well, but okay. Bong Sinim's unmute is not working too well, but Bong Sinim, maybe you could try to unmute yourself.
How's
So yes,
That's
so 3 teachers are unmuted, and we are now open for questions from students. So we'll pause and give them a little time. If any, there are a couple of questions that have come up, and there are already 3 questions. So I will offer them in order so any of you could answer. There is one question specifically for Bong. So the first question is actually, what is the difference between Zen, don't know mind, and ignorant mind? That's the first question. Any of you would
That
like
one's
to
for
take?
me.
No, it's open for grabs. Anyone want to take a stab at difference between Zen, don't know mind, and ignorant mind?
Why don't you just assign us the question, because all of us would probably
Okay.
answer it.
I'll ask you. Okay, Bobby, you can take this one. Don't know mind.
Cuts! Just cuts! Show me your ignorance just now. We make that idea of ignorance, but if you're just listening right now, no ignorance, no don't know, just this. That's my
Okay.
answer.
Great, thank you. The second question is, what is the meaning of whole world, one flower? Shim Zen Master, would you like to take that one?
Sure. How can I help you? That's the big meaning of whole world is a single flower. We become one, and we already talked about this, right? We become one and then use it, share it, and see clearly, hear clearly, and think clearly, and then act clearly. How can I help? Can be, can be many ways. How can I help? Sometimes it can be a hit. Sometimes it can be a hug. Sometimes it can be a ha! Different ways, but the same direction, the same mind. So that's the meaning of whole world is a single flower. We become one, and we only have one direction. Our Zen Master Soeng, he would say, great love, great compassion, great bodhisattva way. So this is our path. We try that. It doesn't always work because of our human conditions, but I believe we all try that. And in this time, seems like it's, I don't know, at least for me, it's so pounding, It has such a big meaning, like maybe never before. Our teaching, our practice, yeah, there's this great meaning. There is nothing more important, and nothing makes sense anymore. Everything is falling apart. But as I said in my talk, I really believe that if we keep this direction in our life, like everyday life, then we can rebuild this world.
Thank you, Zen Master. Next question is actually for Bong from Soeng. First of all, very grateful that all 3 Zen Masters are in good health. Zen Master Bong, could you please tell us more about the digestion of feelings? How to digest feelings?
Zen Master Hyang already said, just have the big question. Usually we want something. We want some result, a feeling or a situation. Just have a big question that names don't know. Then you will digest it automatically. Also, you can see whether you just have you stop that function by wanting something. So often in my experiences, I see my hindrances. Then it's not so difficult to let it go. And what are you left with? You don't know. Then you'll digest by yourself. One way you can do it if you need something concrete is be aware if you have a feeling or thinking where it is in your body. If you're holding it up here, it's an idea. If you're holding it here, it's a feeling. Return your energy, exhale, exhale deeply, exhale from your tanja. And just ask yourself, what is this? If you're thinking a lot, if you're nervous a lot and you eat food, you won't digest well. If you're not, then your energy's down, you will digest well. Food, emotion, situation, thinking, same thing. Don't know. It's the ultimate medicine.
It takes time sometimes though, right?
Well, I've known you since 1985. How you doing? That's why Zen Master Soeng San says, try, try, try for 10,000 years nonstop. Also, maybe this will help people because it often helped me back in the 1970s. I heard, I don't even know if it's true, but I heard that there's an old Chinese saying, even a small improvement is reason for great happiness. And I just decided to take that to heart. So if I noticed I was leaning on my right foot when I brushed my teeth and I balanced my left and right foot thing, I became very happy. Didn't last long, but it did it again. Next time I brush my teeth and it builds up.
Great, thank you.
I wanted to say something too,
Yes.
because I know a lot of people have said to me sometimes, they just say, I'm worse now since I started practicing than I was before. You know, and I'll say, well, that's because you're seeing, you're checking, you're holding, you're making, you're seeing it. It's just slowed down enough to notice what our crazy brain does. If you don't practice, you think that your truth is the truth. And that scaffolding that poem was talking about, you're just totally into building your scaffolding and moving around. And then all of a sudden you're instructed to stop and breathe out, don't know. Then all of a sudden you notice part of you is still trying to build the scaffolding when your true self is gazing at the floor. And there's a battle, there's a revolution that goes on, there's a revolt. And that's not always comfortable. But as Bong said, if you feel like something's undigested, stop a second, and it's either checking, holding, making, or wanting. You could just self-diagnose. Oh, it's up in my. That's Bong said, it's up in my head. It's in my heart. It's in my solar plexus. I'm fearful. Notice that, and we talk about people. Reaching out more now with the virus and maybe learning a lot. And but I heard the liquor sales and the gun sales in the United States have skyrocketed. People are buying guns because they're afraid. I guess they're afraid somebody's going to come and take their cans of soup that they've stored in their basement. They're going to take their fresh water. So then they go and self-protect. And as external as the guns are, we have those guns in our head, where we're, what's going to happen next? And can we be courageous, drop the fear and just feel it? That Clint Eastwood thing that happened 20, 30 years ago in this movie, he said, go ahead, make my day. When somebody had a gun and it said, make my day. And people love that. So, we can look at the virus and say, take me, I'm yours, if that's necessary. Of course we want to self-protect so we can carry on our vow. We can help people. That's the only reason to self-protect. But it's a beautiful thing to just take the fear and notice where it comes from, digest it, and then move forward into your vow again. So, my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Bobby, another question for you is, does the coronavirus have a Buddha nature?
Yeah.
Already appeared. So next question, I believe this is related to maybe Bong's talk. How can I stay underneath the path? Hide under the path. So how can I stay under the path?
What's the path? You know, people say, oh, you talk about don't know. What is don't know? I usually will say, yeah, correct. So you're under the path. You asked, how can I stay under the path? Why do you even want to stay there? Find the path. A Tibetan master said, turn appearance into the path. Good, you know, usually we want good things, we don't want bad things, but our practice is different. Good things come, we use them the correct way, use them to help all beings. Bad things come, we use them to help all beings. So we're free of good and bad. We have to really be able to do that. First, you do it with your own mind and body and your circumstances. And finally, hopefully, you can do it whenever. And when you can't, you do it by practicing harder. Somebody's partner leaves them, they get angry, they get a gun, and they shoot somebody. Somebody else's partner leaves them, they get angry, they go to the Zen center, and they decide they're going to bow 1,000 times a day for 100 days. That's how.
Okay, thank you. Maybe Zen Master Bong Shim. There's one question. It says, since good situation is a bad situation and vice versa, if I have a good situation, do I have to make myself have a bad situation?
You already probably heard our teaching, don't make anything. Since nothing is permanent, so it's a natural course, right? Natural process. It's changing, and it's changing all the time. So if you have good situation, just be happy. Enjoy your good situation until it's there, because it's gonna change for sure. You cannot keep it. So this is our teaching, great teaching, really. Don't make anything. Just become one with whatever you're experiencing. If you're sad, just be sad. It's not a problem. You know, often people think that if I am sad, then something is wrong with me. Or they said, oh, I'm sorry that you are sad. I just got this letter this morning. I'm sorry that you were sad last night. We had a teachers meeting. During the meeting, I told them, you know, I'm sad because of this, you know, whatever is happening in this world. Somebody wrote me this morning, I'm sorry you are sad. Why sorry? Sad is fine. I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. But also, no need to hold on to that, right? So just go with the flow. Sad is coming, be sad, and sad is going, just don't hold on to that. Whatever is coming, you embrace it and see it, what it is, perceive it. That's our practice. It's not always easy when my son is sad. You know, when I'm sad, no problem. But when my son is sad, actually, then I have a little problem. Because I want something. I want to fix his sadness. That's already not so good. but yeah, it's just like that. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So we have about 10 minutes left. There's one more question. Let me see if I can say it clearly. During your talks, there appeared, I think this is in general, the talks of all three of you. While your talk there appeared a special transcendent feeling, did you make it purposefully? Tell us what Soeng-san didn't say.
Didn't say.
Didn't say. Anyone?
You're very complicated. First of all, you made the special transcendent feeling. Don't be so complicated. Complicated mind can't help you. Human's path, it become clear. Complicated mind become clear is very difficult. Complicated mind becomes simple. Simple mind become clear is not difficult.
I'll tell you what Sansadev did say, too much thinking. Too much thinking, I hit you 30 times.
Okay, good. Okay. One last one.
Volunteer.
Yes,
volunteer
go ahead.
in a hospital. That'll clear out your thinking.
Oh my God.
I thought about that today. I thought maybe I should go to New York and volunteer in a hospital. But then I thought I'd have to be quarantined for 2 weeks. They don't want me. I'm 70 years old. I'll get sick and I'll take up space. Okay, I'll just try and do my best here.
Great. One last question. Two. The Master Soeng, is your headache gone?
I'm transcended, yes.
And last question is, please give us a koan to take with us.
What is this? What is this? The original koan. You know, it's always with you. Anytime, any place. What is this? I just mean that sincerely. Like, if you do that, you receive. It appears. What appears? So the only reason we have to ask what is this is we're checking, holding, making, checking. You know, thinking. Take that away. What is this? It always is there. So that's my answer.
Great. Okay.
So, I have Kongan. The whole world is on fire. Through what kind of samadhi you can escape being burned? So that's my, not my Kongan, but for you.
Okay, good. They are happy with the koans. There's one more last question. I think it's quite a good question for everybody to wrap up. Is there some meditation technique to improve our immune system and be more healthy?
How may I help you? That's your meditation. They say the people that help have the highest immune system, the people that, oh, what can I do? What's there, you know, that kind of consciousness. What can I do? Then their immune system's happy. It's like it raises up. If you're sitting around feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to get sick. So, what do you think, Daebong's name?
Yeah, exactly. There was a Korean-Russian doctor who, it's a great story behind him, but when he was teaching medicine in Korea, he had talked about empathy and things like that, and the students were so science-oriented they couldn't relate to it, and meditation. So he pulled up all the scientific studies that shows the physiological changes when you have empathy, when you do a meditation. Then they got it.
Mm-hmm.
It improves everything in your body when you have a sincere concern for others. That's why I said, go get a job in a hospital. If your situation is really good and staying in it is making you think about that, volunteer someplace.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think that wraps up the Q&A session. Thank you, teachers, for wonderful talks and wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Wonderful host. And thank
You're
you,
welcome.
everybody.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for joining this talk today. Everyone's chatting in. Thank you. Thank you for all your talks. Thank you for your teachings. Wishing everyone be very safe and healthy. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Very important. As Zen Master has told us, help others is our way through the path. Now, just to end, I think it would be great if we could recite the 4 great vows, but I will have to mute everyone, and maybe we could just follow with Bobby, if that's okay with you. We'll follow your voice. Everyone, let's do 4 great vows together. And so take care, everyone. See you soon again. And please join any of our online Sangha programs. We'll be posting those things for you everywhere soon. Okay? Thank you. Take good care. Let's do.
Sentient beings are numberless. We vow to save them all. Delusions are endless. We vow to cut through them all. The teachings are infinite. We vow to learn them all. The Buddha way is inconceivable. We vow to attain it.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you so much. Good night. Good morning. Good day.